Can you guys believe that we are actually at the 8th movie in this franchise? I can't either. Fate of the Furious. Alright, so Fate of the Furious is the 8th film in the Fast and Furious franchise. I cannot believe it made it to 8 because I thought it was done after Tokyo Drift because that movie sucked. But no, here we are at 8 films, and in this film, Dominic Toretto, played by Vin Diesel, he goes rogue and he is suddenly working for Cypher, played by Charlize Theron. And it is up to Luke Hobbs, played by Dwayne Johnson, and his team, along with Jason Statham, to take down Cypher and Toretto and save the world. Alright, so let's talk about Fate of the Furious. I was looking forward to Fate of the Furious mostly because ever since Fast 5, I've absolutely had a blast with these movies. The first 4, not so much. But from 5 up through this movie, I've had pretty much a really fun time with it. That's really all I go into these movies expecting, and that's exactly what I get. And that's exactly what I got with this movie. It is a fun, over-the-top action movie with a lot of crazy stunts and just seemingly law-defying action set pieces and all this other crazy stuff going on. But yeah, first off, the chemistry between all the characters I thought was really good. First off, Tyrese Gibson, I think is his name, who plays Roman, and Ludacris, who plays Tej. Oh my gosh, they were so funny together. This movie was actually surprisingly really funny. It had me laughing a lot. Christian Harloff says that the jokes fall flat. I'm sorry, I don't get it. This movie had me dying at certain points. And also, Jason Statham and The Rock had some really good moments as well. And Kurt Russell, I could tell he was having a really fun time with this movie. But really, the best character in the movie is Dom. Wow. Vin Diesel really surprised me in this movie. I wasn't expecting him to be like that. And the motivation behind why he goes rogue actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Like that, it doesn't reveal it for a while, but once you find out, it's like, this actually makes a lot of sense, and it's actually really intriguing. But yeah, really what you're here for is the crazy over-the-top action, and one of the best scenes in this movie is with Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham in a prison. Really, really fun to watch. Well directed. F. Gary Gray directed this movie. He did a really nice job with it. And also, one character I forgot to mention, Scott Eastwood. He was actually surprisingly funny as well. Like, the banter between him and Roman and Tej, really, really good. And just Jason Statham. Oh, man. There's one point in this movie, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it had me dying laughing. And the best action, my favorite action scene in the movie is basically the last 30 minutes of the third act. Wow. Yeah. It basically takes place in Iceland, I think, or Greenland or somewhere like that, on this big lake of ice. And it's insane. And at the same time, there's another action sequence that goes on in a plane where not only is it well choreographed and just a blast, but it's also extremely hysterical. Wow. I was blown away by most of the action in this movie. And even the New York City car chase I thought was a really cool scene to watch. But yeah, it's the third act really where everything just goes crazy, over the top, non-stop fun. You can shove popcorn in your face. Trust me guys, it is a blast. Definitely check this movie out in the theater if you can. Not to mention the sound effects in this movie and some of the visuals were also really good. And Charlize Theron as the villain, she surprised me a lot too. She was menacing. Wow. Like, there's another scene involving her also in an airplane, different scene than the airplane scene I was referring to earlier. But yeah, there's another scene also in an airplane with her and Vin Diesel's character where it's just like, wow, this girl means business. She is ruthless, and she'll stop at nothing to do what she wants. And of course, some of the other action sequences in there as well, like toward the beginning of the film, I thought were really well done. But yeah, overall, this was just an absolute blast, from all the action sequences and the whole theme of family and all the chemistry between the characters and the motivation behind Dom's character going rogue, and especially the humor. The humor and the action were easily the best part of this movie. Like, that alone is worth the price of admission. Does this movie have flaws? Yeah, of course it does. It's a Fast and Furious movie. First off, if you didn't like the previous 3 Fast and Furious films, Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, or Furious 7, you're probably not going to like this film either, because they've embraced the over-the-top action a lot. And it really hasn't changed much in terms of that. And also, I do think a few plot points were predictable. There's one twist that takes place in the 3rd act of the film that I called out from like 10 minutes earlier in the movie. And, of course, there are some other predictable moments as well. It is kind of cliched in a sense. I mean, there's some new things, but it does have its own share of cliches. And some of the CG does stick out. Like during the New York City car chase, there is one moment involving a lot of cars. Let's just say they're falling from a parking structure or a building. That kind of stuck out. It is a fun scene, but that part did kind of stick out. But the biggest flaw I have with this movie is Paul Walker is missed. Like, you can feel the presence, or you can feel the non-presence of Paul Walker in this movie. Rest in peace, by the way. You are sorely missed here, dude. But other than that, that's really it. Fate of the Furious, just like the previous 3 films, is an absolute blast to watch at the theater. It is so much fun, really funny, so over the top. But yeah, the thing I really like about this series from Fast 5 on is that it knows what it's doing. It knows it's over the top. It knows that it's completely unrealistic and doesn't define the laws of physics at all. But yeah, as I said before, if you didn't like the previous 3 films, you're not going to like this film much better. But yeah, I've always loved this series since Fast 5. This film's really not too much different from Fast 5. In fact, Fast 5 was my favorite, but I'll have to think about it. I will really have to think about where to put this film, whether it's ahead of Fast 5, just behind it, or on par with Furious 7. But yeah, for now, I really had an absolute fun time with this movie. Definitely go see it this weekend. Boss Baby, you're going to get taken down at the box office, and good riddance. But yeah, overall, guys, Fate of the Furious was an absolute blast. I am going to give it an 80%. That is an A-. 8 films in, I'm impressed that it's gotten this far, and I'm still impressed with the later half of these movies because they're so much fun. But yeah, that's my review of Fate of the Furious. Have you guys seen it? What did you think about it? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. What is your favorite Fast and Furious movie that you've seen from 1 to 8? For me, I would say it's either this one or Fast 5, to be honest. They're like right on par with each other. But yeah, make sure to let me know in the comments below what your favorite Fast and Furious movie is, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for more reviews to come in the future. And once again, until next time, my name is the California Cougar, and always remember to stay California cool. Peace.